Husker Nation may be missing Husker Volleyball right about now, but head coach John Cook has something up his sleeve that is sure to bring some excitement to the offseason. He's joining me now to share more. Coach, thanks for being here.
Well, it's an honor to be here, and I love your little setup here at Nebraska Rodeo, so it looks cool.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, your journey in horses and roping has been well documented, and you've really used this to connect with Nebraskans in every corner of the state. But you've decided to take things a bit further, and you're hosting the first ever John Cook Team Roping Classic this April. Before we dive into the nitty gritty of the event, tell us how this event came to be and what that process was like.
So, everybody kind of knows now, I spent a lot of time at the Pitzer Ranch, met a bunch of people, bought two horses from the Pitzer Ranch sale, and the 415 horse, which has became really famous, and another really, really great horse, Bob's we call him. And so anyway, you know this world is so connected. Everywhere I go, I run into somebody that has a horse, uh, was went to UNL Rodeo or did this or connected and knows everybody knows everybody. It's pretty cool. So anyway, as I've gotten into roping, I've been invited to pretty much go to every branding and rope at every anybody who has an arena. I've been invited to go there. And so Travis Schauda, who's the rodeo announcer at Burwell, we were sitting in his trailer and he pulls out this folder with about 10 pages of notes and he says, "We're going to do a John Cook Invitational roping." I'm like, "What? I don't want to do a roping. I don't know how to do that or anything." And he goes, "No, I'm going to do everything, but we're going to do this. We're going to do it in Lincoln, and we're going to help. We're going to do something for kids, and that's the first day. And then we're going to do something to help raise money for the UNL Rodeo Team Scholarship Fund. And hopefully, they're getting ready to break ground on a facility for the rodeo athletes and the equestrian athletes to board their horses there and so on. I've been working on that now for 2 years, helping raise money for that. And we've got some great people that have stepped up. So that's kind of how it happened. And Travis went out and like the first week, he had all these sponsors fighting over which ones they wanted and belt buckles and saddles and chutes. And we're working on a truck, I think. So it just went crazy and people are fired up. And it's April 12th and 13th and out at the Sandhills Global Arena out there or one of the arenas. And I think it's going to be a really great roping.
Yeah, very cool. Well, as you kind of alluded to, this is not going to be your typical team roping with lots of, accessory events all built into one. Can you talk a little bit more about the opportunities for youth and the other things you're doing along with the team roping?
Yeah. So the first day is going to be I I'm hopefully I get his name right, but Billy Jack um, is going to come in and do a training for the kids. So we want to make it important for them. And again, one of the things I think everybody's so passionate about is continuing to provide opportunity this great sport in rodeo and for kids, so they keep an interest going. And I think there is a lot of interest, so we want to bring him in to do that on Saturday. I think there'll be a social thing, meet people, greet, have a social thing, that night, and then Sunday, well, let's get after it. And then I still don't know if we have the format completely. I think we have a meeting next week about it, but we've talked about a pro-am type thing. I want to have a roping that I can go in and compete in, and then we want to have it for the big boys, and there'll be some great prizes and money to attract really high level roping. The other thing that we did, we went over to the School of Journalism over here and found two fifth or fourth year seniors for their capstone project that are marketing and managing all this and helping with it. The UNL Rodeo team happens to be off that weekend, so they're going to come there and run the shoots and do all that stuff. Wyatt's going to, I think, be the flag guy, so they're going to be involved. And again, we've got people all over the state and in the community here that are supporting it, whether it's with gifts, uh, donations, finances, sponsorships, and those types of things. And I mean, Travis has got a long list and he's pretty much filled it. So, but the main thing would be to, have this great roping and involve kids and do it in Lincoln and a weekend in April.
Yeah, very cool. Well, as you mentioned, some of the details are still being ironed out, but if anyone is interested in supporting the team roping or learning more, what's the best way for them to go about that?
I think the best way is for to contact Travis Schauda, and everybody seems like they know him. But he's organizing all this along with the two students handling all the social media part and all those things. But he's organizing all that, and I just I think it's going to be a really first class event. I know I've seen like the list of prizes that Cowboys can win, and so I think it'll be, we want to make it a really fun event. And again, I think part of the goal is to attract some high level ropers, and I've already heard rumblings of some guys that are going to be coming in, and so that'll be fun. And hopefully we'll get some people out there and come and watch it and see what this is all about. But I've been speaking all over, and I show part of my PowerPoint presentation now is I'm showing team roping. So and I should throw a little bit of me in there trying to be a team roper. But
Oh,
uh that's what's I think is really fun about it.
I love it. Well, you mentioned that you will be in action at the roping yourself. What horses can we expect to be in your lineup, and what are you doing to prepare?
That's what I got to figure out. So my horses right now are in Wickenburg, Arizona. I was just down there last week, roped every day I could possibly rope. My son lives down there, so we're debating: do we bring him all the way to Nebraska? Then eventually from there they would go back to Wyoming. Uh, but my son wants to come too, so but he has to work. So I don't know. We're working through that. If not, Mark Ray will have a horse for me to ride, and I'll prepare for both. But I would love to get the 415 horse, who's now called Rev. As his stage name is Rev. That's what was won in the contest. That, by the way, Rebel had over 14,000 votes on naming that horse, and we got it down to four. And then I think it was out of the 14,000, I think 8,000 were for the name Rev, which Rev came from the song Revival by Zach Bryan. So that's kind of how we captured that name. And of course, I've now run into several people that like, I was the first one to nominate Rev. I voted for Rev. So, I mean, I'm like walking through an airport somewhere and somebody will come up to me and say that. So it was a big deal. Of course, it had gotten the Wall Street Journal article. And so for me, Rebel, I'm just, and you were there that one of the first times I rode, and I'm just trying to have fun with this and get exposure. I'm just become really passionate about the the horse industry and what these cattle rancher guys are doing, and then the sport of rodeo and calf roping and all those different things. Just trying to have a lot of fun with it and get as much exposure to them as I can and be a part of their world because they're wonderful people. They do anything for you. And I've met some incredible people and they're hardworking. And I've learned it's not an easy life. And, but they take care of each other. And that's what's really cool. And I think a lot of people are craving that and we're missing it in our world in a lot of other places.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, Coach, it's been so fun to watch your journey, and we certainly appreciate all that you have done to elevate the sport in the last few years. So, kudos to you, and super excited to see what comes together for the classic this April.
I am too. And yeah, it's exciting, nerve wracking, exciting, but I think it's going to be a really fun event. And again, we got some really great sponsors that want to be involved. And again, I'm thinking this is I'm just a volleyball coach, but um, I think people feel the passion and how exciting this is. And again, I think it's brought a lot of attention to that part of the world and that sport. And again, I was just in Wickenburg. I mean, these ropings down there have 400 teams. And so it's obviously very popular. And we get to do it here in Nebraska.
Certainly. Well, mark your calendars for April 12th and 13th, and Lincoln will be the very first ever John Cook Team Roping Classic. I know I will be putting that on my calendar, and I hope you all do too.